Hello, I'm Sophia.
And hey, I'm Kristin, and we are
Under the Barbell.
Over the Bullshit.
And we're a podcast for women who are sick of being told to just eat less, move more, and what they really want is to get strong, take up space, feel confident, and age well.
That's what we're all about, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo.
So, wherever you are, grab a coffee or a pre-workout and hit play, because your anti-diet culture BFFs have arrived.
Hey, hi,
Hey-o.
hello, you bobbers.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Stoked for this episode today. I'm stoked for all of them, but I feel like
always.
Yeah. And God, there was something I was going to say actually.
We're off to a great start.
Off to a great start. I don't know. Something specific. Now I can't remember. But I do have 5 PSAs.
Oh, 5. Okay, let's hear them.
One of them is a public service apology, which I posted this on the Instagram if you saw it, the UBOB.
Oh, I did.
So I'm trying to look up at the camera too, but public service apology for the sound quality in the last few episodes. It has been shit. And honestly, one of my pet peeves is when I'm listening to an audio that sounds like shit, I'm turning it off. And yeah, so apologies for that. Public service announcement. I am drinking cold brew with a lavender creamer, and lavender, it works. It's so good. This is the brand Too Good, like TOO and then good.
Lavender supposed to be calming? Do you feel calm?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right. The smell, the sense, the taste, it is pretty calming. And I've always loved lavender. And actually at our wedding, my specialty drink that I had was a lavender margarita.
Oh,
so good.
I
so
never.
Good.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. There's a lot of baby products are lavender, like lotions and bubble bath stuff and whatever, because it's supposed to be calming and soothing and help them.
Yes. Help with sleep. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3. I got pulled over this morning, and so my
What? What'd you do?
The whole thing. And when things are building up in your life and then one thing sets you off and you're emotional, it just all hits you. Yeah, that was today. Well, so Kiana is at drill, so she has our Subaru, our car, and so I take her car, and there's no heat in it. It's really, really old. It's not the best, and apparently my tabs expired over a year ago. And I remember driving, and I saw this cop behind me, and I'm like, oh. All the time, I'm like, I hope they don't pull me over.
Yeah.
And I'm going through my head thinking of all those things that I could pull me over for. He was following me for a long time. And then finally, he turned his lights on. I was like, God damn it. And I just knew it. Something was expired. And it was he said license plates, but apparently it's your tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, I swear to God, I just got tabs. But that must have been 2 years ago because we rarely use this car. So that must have been 2 years ago. And then last year, we never updated it. And yeah, so get your tabs. We're B. I guess it goes by last name. I had no idea.
It varies by state, I think. Ours is you renew them the same month of whatever year you bought the car. So like I got my Jeep in June, I think. So every June I renew mine.
But then I think in the city it goes by last name, possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. That's what someone told me. So I don't know. But just, PSA to get your tabs renewed if they're expired, to check so you don't get pulled over and get a $130 ticket.
Oh, man. That sucks. Well, hold on. Before you go to your next one, I have a potentially not controversial, but y'all have a Subaru. Is this really you know where I'm going with this, right?
Okay. I was going to bring it up, but then I didn't. Okay.
So, yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this because I'm like, this is a thing. I've heard this, and I have several friends. Yes, I have several friends who are lesbians, and they always call it a lesbrew. And I'm like, wait, is this really a thing? Okay. So tell me.
This is hilarious. So I almost brought this up, and I couldn't remember if we talked about it on a previous episode or not.
I don't think so.
Okay, so when we were looking at vehicles, Subaru was not on the list. We weren't going to be looking at that, but then it just ended up we were looking at those, right? I had no idea that it was a stereotype, that a Subaru is called a Lesbaru and it's a lesbian vehicle. No idea. Okay, so get this. I'm training one of my in-home clients, and I'm telling her this. Meanwhile, I still don't know this is a thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. So next time I go to train her, in the meantime of me training her that first time versus that time, I had the conversation with Kiana that a Lesbaru, it's a Lesbaru. It's a stereotype. Lesbians always get them, whatever. And so I went back to this client, and I'm like, had you heard of this before? That like Subarus are called Lesbaru and it's like a stereotype? She busts out laughing saying yes. And I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing. I had no idea. And she like knew it was a thing. And so I had no idea that it was a thing. And yes, it is a thing.
It is a thing. Okay. I've like I said, I've heard people say it, and I have friends who also have Subarus and all that. And I'm like, I was like, is it? And I didn't know like if it is a geographic, sometimes like, is that maybe just a thing like here in the city or like, or is this just like, no, but it's like an everywhere thing.
Yes. But like, I don't know why. I don't know. Lesbians, and maybe because it's like, there's always like, not always, but there's typically like a more masculine female and then like more feminine female. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's because like it's a mix of that. Like
maybe
it's not like a full on truck, like masculine truck, but it's not like super girly car. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it was a very recent, actually, just in the last couple of weeks, a reel came up on Instagram of a stand-up comedian. And I don't even it just kind of starts. I don't know what led up to it. It wasn't in the video, but apparently a person in the audience used to be a part of the marketing team for Subaru. And she was like, she's like, once like this started going, we specifically started marketing to lesbians specifically. Like they would put have
smart.
Like a dog in the video and like a dog jumping into the back. And, just like, she was like, she's like, well, we owned it and we rolled with it and they're great.
That's
and we love it. And,
Oh my God. That's amazing.
That's so funny. Yeah. As soon as you were like, we have a Subaru, I'm like,
Kiana's going to bust out. She hates it, by the way. She hates it.
Does she? Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yep.
Who knew?
But it's a great vehicle. Love it.
I hear good things. They last a long time.
Yeah. So, moving on. With that, moving on. Okay, speaking of Kiana, my fourth PSA is, I apparently in the last episode, I made it sound like the meal that was seasoned, the sweet potato, the beef, the cottage cheese, the blueberries. I made it sound like it was my idea. It was me. And I made it. I did not make it. It was all her. She came up with it. She made it. So I just want to clarify.
Credit where credit is due.
It was Kiana. Yep.
Yep.
But then my last PSA is more of like a little plug. Okay. TikTok is my only, it's like a fun social media for me. Mm-hmm. And right before this episode, so lately, okay, a little backstory here. Lately, I have been doing TikToks where I find a remix that I love, like an EDM style remix, because I love EDM and I love remixes. So when I find a song that I'm jamming to, I'm like, holy fuck, this is such a good remix. I literally put my phone up in my car, like on the steering wheel, and I just jam to it. And it started out with just one song, and I'm like, POV, you find like, I don't know, like a really good EDM mashup to have on repeat, 20 out of 10. It kind of like, not that it blew up, but like for me, it kind of blew up. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this again. Part 2, part 3, part 4. Now I was on part 5, and it has an insane amount of, for me anyway, like views and comments and likes and whatever. And so I've been posting a lot of that and like hiking type stuff. Mm-hmm. Because it's just stuff that I like. It's nothing to do with business, nothing to do with fitness. Like this is just like my fun TikTok. So if you're listening and you're someone that loves EDM, loves mashups, come follow along, because I'm going to be posting more, and hiking. It's like hiking stuff. It's going to be like me finding remixes and just putting it out there. So if you like that type of stuff, follow me on there. And my name, I changed it. It's Soapy's Life, because Kiana calls me Soapy sometimes, like Soap, SOAPY Life, Soapy's Life. And it's just fun for me. And like, it's like, I feel like I'm finding my people on there that also love EDM, that also love TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just, which is like, it's so weird for me to think about. Like, people are just watching me jam out in my car to a song and they're following along, and it's kind of cool. But it just sounds so stupid. Like it's like weird that we care about this type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just like a fun outlet for me. I just love doing it. I'm like a creative, so I'm kind of coming to terms with the fact that I like putting myself out there. I like being creative like that, and I like just having that reach. Man. I don't know. Yeah.
So own it, man. That's cool.
Those are my 5 PSAs.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Love to see it. The only thing I have this time to share, in the last episode, I'd mentioned that I was kind of stressing out because I was like, I think they might have changed the date of when I was supposed to compete, just all of this confusion with my next meet in March up in Columbus, Ohio. And so that all got cleared up. So basically, I emailed the guy and I said, first of all, can you clarify, am I part of all women? Because I like to think I'm a woman. Or am I, do I compete in the Masters category, which is on Sunday? All women said Friday. And I said, and to further add to the confusion, I can't find any kind of a receipt or confirmation that tells me how I registered. So can you tell me if I registered as a master or did I register in open? Again, it would be either Sunday or Friday. And so it took a while, several days for him to write me back. And he wrote back and basically he goes, oh yeah, Friday is going to be all ages and Sunday is going to be the Masters. So you can pick whichever one you want, but there won't be any Masters on Friday. And I was like, cool. So basically just putting it back on me again. Instead of just telling me this is when you compete, he was like, you pick.
What?
I know. So I'm like, okay. So I gave it a minute. I was supposed to meet with my coach that next day anyway. So my coach is online. So I meet with him once a month on Zoom. And I talked to my family and I said, okay, we have everything set for Friday. Here's why Friday might be a good idea. We could move it to Sunday. Here's why Sunday might be a good idea. Hotel was kind of negligible difference. And my husband would have to change his days off. But Sunday worked better because that week after is my son's fall break. So if I competed Sunday, he would only miss Friday of school. And it's a half day anyway, and they don't really do anything on half days anyhow. And so then we can, even if we stayed a couple of days into the next week, it wouldn't matter. He's on spring break. He wouldn't miss school. So that would be a good thing. He would miss less school. But also he wanted to tour Ohio State while we're there. And so we were looking, and the School of Public Affairs, I think it's called, they were having some sort of a big introduction orientation thing, like here's what we're all about. And that happened to be on that Monday, that day after. And so we were like, okay, this kind of feels a little bit meant to be. Like right when he discovers that this was going on campus is almost I think it was back-to-back days that I discovered I might have to compete on Sunday instead of Friday. It's just like one of those I believe in that shit, signs
for real,
and you know what I mean? And so we were like, when all that came out, I was like, you know what? I was like, it sucks that I'm not going to be on Friday. And because I had some family that was going to come see me and so now I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. But I was like, I don't know. It just feels like meant to be, So I went ahead and I changed all my stuff. So I'm going to compete on that Sunday now instead of the Friday. So it'll be on,
okay.
I think the 8th or something. I don't remember. And and then we're going to stay all day Monday where he's going to do a campus tour at I forget, it's early in the afternoon. And then later in the afternoon is that whole public affairs school orientation thing. So he'll get to see all that. And then and that's not over until I think 5:30 or something. And it's about a 6-ish hour drive for us. So we're just going to stay on Monday and then come home.
You're going up Sunday or Saturday? Or what day are you going?
I'm going to have to go up Friday.
Or you're going up Friday? Oh, yeah, okay.
My weigh-ins will be Saturday morning, and then I'll compete Sunday morning. So I have to be there the day ahead to get my weigh-ins done. So
that makes sense.
So so that's the plan. And so it changed, and now it's a done deal. Everybody's got everything done. The only thing I need is someone to stay with my dog. So if anybody out there, any of my Nashville people, if you know someone who'd like to stay in my house and hang out with my oh so loving Chihuahua, That's the only thing we're concerned with. I prefer to not board her, just because she was a stray and she was in a shelter. Like she doesn't handle that super well. So I'd much prefer have some. And plus, I just like having somebody at the house. We always just have someone stay here while we're gone.
Have you ever looked up, like, there was one time when I was looking up for our dog Nova, and I found out there was something similar to Airbnb. Well, okay, Airbnb, you can take him to a house, but like someone coming to you, like there's things out there where you see like people coming to the house to like take them out and do that. Or do you want it to be someone that you know?
I prefer someone I know, and I prefer it to be someone that'll just stay here. Not
like
just
stay
come
the
and
night.
let her out. Yeah, because she has a doggy door and stuff. She can let herself out. I mean, she would need fed, of course, but I would prefer to have someone. She doesn't do well alone, and it's always my shit. Like she's very much my dog. She's like she's very attached to me. Yeah. And so like when I'm gone, she will scratch up on my pillow. Like she'll just do like, dogs like dig it, like, do things. And I use, what is it? Satin pillowcases, just because my hair. And I keep having to buy new because when she does it, she pulls the satin shit gets all. And so like for us, for the number of days that we're going to be gone, having her be alone for most of the time for that many days, I'm afraid of how that might go.
Yeah.
So usually like I had some friends when I was teaching. I had a friend who would come, and I don't know, maybe I should reach out to her, see if she still does it.
Yeah, you should.
But she was a brand new teacher. And so, brand new teachers don't make much. And no teacher makes much, but especially the brand new ones. And so it was just like it was a nice way to like get her, make a little bit of extra money, and she'd come and hang out. And like, we have like great Wi-Fi. We have like fiber Wi-Fi. I have a gym. You can go work out in the gym.
Dude, if I was there, I totally would. That's like a good gig, man.
That's
like
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
side hustle. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, so we just have to solve that. But once that problem is solved, then everything else is good to go. I just got to finish my training
and there's like a streaming thing, right? Chelsea she had brought that up.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any communication on that. I would assume there probably is. Yeah. And I'll definitely share the link if there is, but they're not the most organized. And like I said, I didn't even get like a confirmation that I even registered at all, let alone any extra information beyond that. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. If there is one, I'll definitely share it. But shout out Chelsea and Chris.
Yep.
Chelsea and Chris are our first two U-bobbers to order out of our merch store.
What?
So, whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So appreciate you. It was very exciting to open up the U-bob email and see that notification. And so hopefully, everybody gets everything in pretty quickly. I don't know how long the shipping is, but
and it was pretty smooth. Like I ordered some things and it's pretty easy. It's simple to check out and it was really good.
Yeah.
And so, if you're wanting to support us, like literally just like to support and also to help us get the word out, just having walking advertisements, basically. Yep. We're not trying to make a boatload of money on it. We just want to get the word out about our podcast. And so there's a link in our link tree on Instagram and TikTok.
And Facebook.
And YouTube and Facebook. All the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on all of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Good.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, Sweet. All right. Are we ready
shirt
to do
and
this?
Quote. Shirt and quote.
Oh, gosh. See, that's why we pay you the big bucks, Sophia. So, okay, shirts. My shirt today, this is a brand new one, and this is one of my favorite ones. It makes me laugh really hard. It says, feminist and feral.
Oh my God, that's
and this
so great.
Freaking raccoon just dancing is so funny to me. So,
that is so you. That's the most you shirt I think you've ever had.
I think
feminist
so too.
And feral, the raccoon, the lightning bolt, the dancing. Oh my God.
Yes,
so
all of it. It's so funny. It makes me laugh. Okay, what's your quote?
Quote. So I decided to do a little bit more serious since the last one was a little bit more funny. Stubborn on vision, flexible on details. I love that.
Okay.
Like be stubborn on your vision of what you want, but be flexible on how you get there. Be flexible on the details of it all.
Love it.
Yeah. So
yes.
What's that?
Yes. That's so good. Easy. Simple.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Today we're going to talk about things that we have changed our minds on, as in me and you, things we've changed our mind on since we started our health, fitness, whatever you want to call it, journey. So things we used to believe and what we think about it now. And so we've just got a couple each that we're gonna share.
Do we also want to, because I have a few of the unanswered Q&As, or should we save that?
That's up to you. We're at 19 minutes. So
let's do it.
Do you want to save it for the end, or you want to do it now?
Let me look to see quick.
Yeah, we have some Ask Me Anythings that have been lingering, guys. Sorry if we haven't gotten to your Ask Me Anything.
Hashtag ADHD.
I was going to say, we're doing the best we can do with what we got, and we don't got much. So.
Yeah. Let's do it at the end. We have 4 of them. 4 of them, but let's do it at the end. We can see if we want to do 2 or all of them. Yes.
Okay. That works for me. Do you want to start with your first thing, what you used to think and what you think now?
Yes. Should I do one and then you do one and then I do one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go back and forth.
So this is like the biggest one. This is the main one that came to mind instantly when I thought about, and there's many things. There's many things that I've changed my mind on that I think back and I'm like, how was I recommending this to people? But this is tops them all. And it is telling people that it is okay to not eat or to not be hungry until noon, 1, 2 in the afternoon. At that time in my life, so I was working at a gym and I would have people come in, and when I would talk to them about their current lifestyle, and they would say, a big thing that women would say is that, well, I'm just not hungry until evening time. I'm not hungry till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I'd be like, oh, that's okay. Like, I don't eat, it's like fasting. I don't eat until this time. Like, it's totally okay. And I just want to crawl into a hole thinking that, because, and I mean, I know, like, once you know better, you do better. And like having education and certification on things and learning along the way has totally changed that. And also my own experience, because even for me, like when I want to eat or be hungry up until that point, I mean, I'd still be working out in the morning. I would, again, not eat till 2, 3 in the afternoon. And what I've learned since is that losing that hunger cue is a huge red flag.
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's a difference between that and if you do decide to do intermittent fasting or fasting of some sort for whatever reason that it is. We can go into that, but I'm not. But there's a difference with that, right? And so now when people come to me and tell me that, I try to be careful with this topic and also educate them that really it's something, whether it's hormonal or like we kind of going back to getting curious, but it's not a positive, great thing if you've lost that hunger cue, and that hunger cue is something that we need to get back. Yes. So I remember, oh my gosh, so vividly, once I started, it all kind of happened slowly, but also all at once. When I let go of that restriction and when I was starting to eat more and when I was just lifting weights, I started to get hungrier, but then I also started eating earlier, even if I wasn't super hungry. But what I noticed is that I started to get my hunger cue back, and I was getting hungrier earlier in the day. And with that, my body started to change as well with what I was always wanting, which was to have it be leaner, to have it, lose a little bit of body fat and to have it see my muscle. There's so many other things that go into that. But once I started to focus on protein and eating earlier, it was a total game changer. And also changing my mindset around the term breakfast and correlating and labeling breakfast foods. Yes. Because we are taught and marketed to that breakfast is all carbs, pancakes, waffles, bread, oatmeal. Oatmeal's great, but I'm just saying muffins. Yes. And so to me, I was like, the first thing that I wanted to eat was fruit in the past, which that's okay. But it's like, once I stopped labeling foods as a specific breakfast food, and sometimes now I'll eat chicken and rice at 9 a.m.
Absolutely.
So it's like, it is ridiculous that we label that. It's because of marketing. It's because of things like that. And so
it is.
I try to also encourage people to not have that label when it comes to breakfast and breakfast food items, and just to eat. Like when we're surviving in caveman days, they would go out and hunt a bear or a duck or
like a bison or something.
A duck. Yeah, a bison. I think I meant to say deer.
I mean, maybe duck. It's a thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just that is the biggest thing that I have really changed my mind on is that eating earlier and changing the labels of food when it comes to that. So.
Man, the number of times I've had that same conversation with women, like, I'm just not a breakfast person. I'm just not hungry. I'm like, okay. And it's a big sign. One of the things too, like you mentioned hormones and all that, but like metabolic adaptation too.
Yeah.
Your metabolism is adapting down to the level of energy that it has coming in.
That's why you're not hungry anymore in the morning time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Your metabolism has adapted down, so you're not hungry because your body is slowing everything down.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
And so, like you said, when you do start eating that morning meal and you start eating earlier, and especially making sure it's a high protein, high fiber protein, whatever meal, then you notice like, oh, I have more energy throughout the day.
Yes.
Things start changing because now your metabolism is gearing up again.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things too, and I'm sure you've probably had this experience with clients where when we can get them to start eating more, oftentimes that's when their body starts changing. That's when weight starts dropping off. And it's not so much that, and people are like, how is that? That makes no sense if I'm eating more. You might be eating more, but your body is actually functioning the way it's supposed to function now. And so things are working right because it has the energy to do it. And you are probably doing more. You're probably up and doing more things because, again, you have the energy to do more things. And so you're burning more calories by default. It's like it's a cyclical thing. And it's really tough sometimes to get people to go ahead and start eating breakfast, especially my clients that I see, like today's Saturday, I see clients every Saturday morning. And a lot of times when they come in for that 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock session, they're just like, oh, I just didn't get up. I didn't eat. I'm like, okay, well, we have to anticipate that in your workout, especially if it's one of my power lifters. And if we're doing, depending on where we are in the cycle, if it's a heavy day and you didn't eat, we have to anticipate that this weight is probably not going to feel great. We might have to change what we're doing. So we're not able to fuel our workouts as well. And so
even if you're not hungry, to still have a little bit of something, like to start small. Maybe it's like a couple bites of banana or like one egg or a piece of toast, like just starting small. You don't have to have this whole big meal.
No.
But there's a difference also between listening to your body and knowing your hunger cues and knowing when you've crossed the boundary, when you've crossed that line between, okay, this is maybe a red flag, which is if you're not hungry until, or depending on when you wake up, right? But I would say within the first few hours, you should get a hunger cue. Like when I wake up now, I am hungry almost instantly. And it just blows my damn mind, So you got to also know that too.
Yeah. And I hear from a lot of people too, especially if you're someone who gets up early to work out before work or something, and they're like, I don't have time. I'm not able to eat before I go because I just have to get up, get dressed and go. But again, that's where like the something small comes in. When I was doing morning workouts, I would just grab just a cup of Greek yogurt and a banana. And like I would get some protein, get some carbs that would fuel my workout. And then I'd come home and have a good, decent breakfast.
I would put protein powder in my cold brew.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yep. And I think, too, for those people that do those morning workouts and find it hard to eat, also consider what are you eating the night before? Because your fuel that you eat before you go to bed, that is going to be some of the fuel that you're going to be using in that early morning workout. So be paying attention to that, too. Don't restrict yourself at that point because that's going to help fuel that as well. So
Yes.
All right. Ooh, that was a good one.
I know. I was really excited to talk about that. And I'm also going to quick see if I can change my... Because you're light.
Yeah. It's like as the day goes on, is the sun moving? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay. What is yours?
Okay. So one of mine, the first one that I will do, because something you said just a minute ago in yours kind of triggered a thought. And I'm like, oh, they kind of in a way go together. But you said how it's not a good thing when we lose that hunger cue. And I think that sometimes people do think it's a good thing. It's almost like they're excited about it. They're like
100%.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's so great. I'm not even hungry. So like they see that as a way that they can restrict calories as a means for weight loss. But you and I know that's actually, like you said, a red flag, and that's not a good thing. And this was a personal experience that I had that I also thought was a good thing. And now I know better. When I first started like tracking macros and all of that, I used an online calculator to calculate my macros. And it was from I don't want to like talk shit on it. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want it to like, I don't want to say anything bad. There was nothing necessarily wrong with this, but it was from a book that I had read that was written by a man. And so when you put in your information into this calculator, it did not consider the different, like, I guess, physiological needs that men and women have. And it gave me a very, very, very low fat macros. I was only eating 20% fat. And I was already it was so low. And now I know I would never do that to a client ever now. But I didn't know then. I was just learning, and my calories were already very low because I'm a small human anyway. And I was in a deficit for fat loss. So that made my calories even lower. I want to say I was in the 13s probably at the time, 1300s calories. And so 20% of that for fats, I was only eating it was like between 20 and 30 grams of fat a day. And it was very difficult. You remember my story about crying over the Doritos?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. The fat in the Doritos would have sent me over my fat numbers and I was freaking out. But I did it though. I managed to find a way to make it work. I got very, very, very good at eating very, very low fat because I thought that's what I should have been doing. And I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then as time went on, I don't know, 6-8 months, I noticed I don't have a period anymore. And I was like, hell yeah, I don't have a period anymore. Yeah. This is awesome. And I thought it was great. I thought it was, this is so convenient. This is so awesome. That is the biggest flipping red flag in the world.
Yep.
Now I know. And so, and upon learning and things like that, I never put clients, I try to keep everybody at least 30% fats. Yeah. When I do macros, it might go down to like 28-ish or something, but I never, ever, ever go below 25%. Usually a little more. So we need fats for our hormones. We need fats. Like there's so many functions in our body that require dietary fats. And I just wasn't giving my body those things. And I jacked up my hormones. I lost my period for quite a while before I learned better. And so that was a big one. Like I thought, and to this day, I still struggle to hit my fats. Like at the end of the day, if I have anything left over, it's going to be fats every time.
That's crazy. That's a lot of people. That's the opposite. Like that's the first thing that goes is fats for a lot of people.
Yeah. But I got so good at eating low fat because of that, that it was, a lot of the foods that I like to eat now are low fats. But, and so when I discovered it and I started upping my fats, it was like I literally couldn't even eat like half a serving of peanut butter because with the other foods, like if I ate an egg or something, like, those fats, it would have just kept putting me over. So like when I was able to enjoy peanut butter again was a beautiful day.
Oh my God, I bet. I feel like a lot of people correlate because of the fact like in the 2000s and low fat, yep. People correlate though fat with, okay, if I eat fat, it's going to add fat to my body.
Right.
And they correlate it to like the processed foods, like fat is only in donuts and cookies and cake and chips and all of those things where it's like, no, like we still need those fats for, like you said, so many functions, hormones, health. Also a nutrient absorption.
Yes.
That is
absolutely.
Huge, like to absorb nutrients.
Yep.
So getting healthy fats. So like, I mean, avocado, nuts, walnuts are great.
Seeds.
Almonds, seeds.
Yeah. Eggs, like your egg yolk.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Like eggs are like, if you eat a whole egg, that is like nature's perfect food. It's like it's the nutrients in it. Like you said, the nutrient absorption. Yeah. Yeah. It's even like olives, olive oil, avocado oil. It's just, and that was a thing, you know, I got so good at cooking without the oils or just using a spray of oil real quick instead of like a tablespoon of it. Or, you know, I had gotten so good at it because I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. And it wasn't until quite a while. I mean, I think I did that for a year, maybe more, before I learned that that's not.
How did you learn?
Just reading. Just reading. I started getting really interested because, and to be fair, I did lose the weight I was trying to lose. Like when I started, it was all about weight loss in the beginning before I realized how much I love lifting and building muscle. And so I did lose the weight that I wanted to lose, but at what cost, you know? So I felt like, oh, I'm being successful at this. I want to learn more. I want to help other people. And then as I started learning more, I would look back on some of the things I was doing. I'm like, oh, I might have been air quotes successful, but I don't know if I'd call that success, you know, now that I know better. But yeah, it was just from reading and learning and learning what women need and understanding that women and men do need different things in that regard.
Totally different. Yeah.
So we have to, but so much of the research out there is only done on men. And so when I learned about just how little research actually is done on women, because researchers don't want to deal with hormone cycles where men, you don't have to deal with that. It's easier to get data when you have men as your subjects. And so few women are even a part of any of this research and any of the tests that you have to really take some of it with a grain of salt and you know, see what works for you and your body. Thankfully, more and more is coming out on women now, but
yeah, it's crazy though how little research there is. Like, and even I think like this makes me think about with periods and like using tampons and like things like that. Like, there's not a lot of research where it's around women and and also same thing with like, I know I've talked about it before, but like with weighing yourself, like instead of like men operate like on a 24-hour cycle, whereas we're 28 days.
28 days.
So of course things are going to be different, and of course how we gain and lose is going to be different. How we operate should be different.
Yep.
So yeah, just mind blowing.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Dr. Stacy Sims?
Sounds familiar.
She wrote the book Roar. And then she has another book called Next Level too, that's more about menopausal athletes. And Roar is more just general women. But she focuses a lot more on athletes and like triathletes specifically, or like endurance, you know. But a lot of the research though is still fairly applicable to any of us. And her motto is women are not small men. And so that's like her big
thing. I like that.
Where she's, just to try and push, like, we can't use the men's research because we are not small men. We have very different hormone needs, and even the amount of body fat that we need for optimal hormone and optimal health is a very different number than what men need.
Yeah, it is a lot higher than what people think or want.
Yes, it is.
Like women are scared to get into like the mid to upper 20% when it's like, that's like, that is optimal.
Crazy town. That's like perfectly, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. So anyway, what's your other one?
Okay. Second one is, there's kind of two that I'm combining, but the main one is I used to really encourage the use of heart rate monitors and or like watches, or just watching the amount of calorie burn during a workout, and like really promoting like trying to burn a lot of calories in a specific workout. And that's totally transformed now that I've learned more about strength training and the difference between how you build muscle, how you lose body fat, and things like that. And this kind of ties into utilizing cardio and HIIT in order to lose body fat and to tone. Like, I would use HIIT and I would try to burn as many calories as possible in that workout, because then there was this, it was taught to us, or like and then it's kind of got overturned, not overturned, but other research came out, but that burning a lot of calories in your workout would also lead to a higher calorie burn after your workout and for like hours after. And so that's what I would try and aim for. Whereas now, building muscle and adding muscle to your body, whether your goal is strength, losing weight, losing body fat, building muscle, adding muscle is going to do all of those things.
Yep.
Because HIIT and cardio burns more. Like if you go to boot camp style classes, if you go to HIIT classes and you're constantly looking at your watch, you're going to burn more calories when it's a high intense workout than when you are just strength training. So I see a lot of people, they only go to those workouts where you're burning a shit ton of calories. But what a lot of times people don't understand is that you're going to burn less calories when you're doing maybe a weightlifting type of workout, but you're going to burn a boatload more calories when you're just resting. And overall, when you're just focusing on the weightlifting and trying to
building muscle,
add muscle. Yes. And so, and there's, I think the heart rate monitors and trying to like the watches and looking at calorie burn, it can, okay, I think that it depends on the person. There's a healthy boundary to it, but then there's an unhealthy boundary to it. And so, and a lot of times they're not even super correct anyways.
Yes.
And if you're just utilizing it to see how many calories you're burning, and your goal is to lose body fat, to tone, to lean out, it's not going to be the best indicator of how your workout goes. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes. I have talked to people who were using their calorie burn from their watch as their indicator for their nutrition, for how many calories they should be eating to lose weight. And then they were like, I'm eating less than I'm burning, and why aren't I losing any fat? I'm like, well, how do you know what you're burning? And my Fitbit or whatever tool they might use. And it's like, okay, that is not accurate. Like that is not, it might be fine to use like for a trend. You might be able to, in your workout, you can kind of see, oh, this workout burned more than this, but did it actually burn that specific number? No, it didn't. It is not accurate. And so when you're using that number to make nutrition decisions, you're setting yourself up for frustration and failure for sure.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about like the nutrition side of it as well. But so now I try to just not like discourage, but not go as hard as like, or even try and educate people on the fact that what it means when you're burning a ton of calories when it's a HIIT versus when it's strength training and how to balance both. So
we always say like lifting is our main source of exercise and we use cardio as a tool. We don't use cardio as the main thing, unless of course if you're a runner or if you're some type of an athlete like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my son, for example, he's a good example where he runs almost 6 days a week. He runs, but he's got 2 strength workouts that he gets in like 30-minute strength. So it's like he's still focusing on strength, and we have like a pull-up bar right in our laundry room. So he'll try to do pull-ups and things, but he's still focusing on building the muscle, but his primary is his cardio just because he's an athlete for that. But if you're just looking at it as general overall health, if you're looking at it as fat loss, that type of thing, the weights should be the bulk of it and your cardio should be a tool.
Yes, 100%.
Supplemental. Yep. All right. My second one is less about, our bodies and things and more about just sort of opinion, I guess, that I had. When I first started, I was, especially, I think maybe not first started, but maybe as I, a few months in when I started lifting and I started feeling the, how good it feels to be strong and I started really my feminist tendencies really started coming out a lot more at that point, And so I was very annoyed at all times when I would see a gym that would have that tiny little women's room off to the side where only women could go in there. And I would get so annoyed. I would get so mad. I'm like, why? I can be in the main part of the gym. I don't need, and I would talk shit on it. And I would say all the things. But now, I now know that things that I did not consider at the time are the women who need that room. I have since, just whether it's clients or just people I know or even the internet, there are a lot of women who have a lot of reasons to need or want that room and to only be able to go to a gym that has that room because it could be a past trauma of some kind. It could be a lot of things. And those were all things that I did not ever consider back then that now I know and now I see how important those rooms are to certain women. And if that's what it takes to get you to be able to go in and to be able to lift and to be able to get strong, then damn it, go in that women's room 100%. I think my only beef with it now is how certain gyms stock the women's room. Like if you're not putting, so the gym that I go to, it's a very like, it's just like a step up from Planet Fitness. It's nothing fancy or great, but it has everything I need. And their women's room has a full platform and squat rack and barbells. And so they've got, and there's some cables, there's other machines in there too. But I've been in other ones that only have like some treadmills and then dumbbells that maybe only go up to about 20 pounds. And, you know,
or like
that
pink little dumbbells.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So that I take issue with how they're stocking it. And I used to take issue with its mere existence. And I don't, now I get it. I understand. I take back anything that maybe I ever said about that before. But now I've definitely changed my tune on that now that I have been able to interact with women and understand their experiences and why that's such an important space to have.
It's like a stepping stone for a lot of people too, I think, into having confidence into the gym. And maybe they're not super confident yet anyways, but having that space is like a little stepping stone to be just a little bit more confident. So they feel like they have their own little bubble. They can work on their things. They can get better, improve, have more confidence before stepping into the next step of like maybe the bigger weight room. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah. So that's a good one.
Agreed. Yeah. Do you have it? I only had 2. Do you have any others?
No, I only had 2. Well, let's see. I guess I did have a third one, and it was really just that I believed that I needed to be on a restrictive cleanse in order to control food. I was always like, once I do that with this cleanse, I'll be able to control food. After these 21 days, I will be set. I'll be able to do it. When 0 out of times that worked. I know I've talked about that before, but like now my belief is the fact that there is an underlying issue that we need to get curious about and figure out, but also that's the very problem. That is why I couldn't control food. I needed to let some things go and give myself permission that I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
Not saying to go ham all of the time, but like, but like going through this period where maybe I was eating a little bit more of those things that I restricted, but now, oh my gosh, the freedom is amazing. I don't crave those things anymore. I am in control of food because I'm not trying to control food.
Yes, exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Crazy how that happens. Yeah.
So that was my only other one that I had on my list.
Yeah. Cleanses are nothing more than expensive pee. Don't spend your money on cleanses. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Spend your money. Spend that same money on some good quality fruits, veggies, and protein instead of a cleanse.
Yeah. That way. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, hey, that was good. Do you want to do a couple of Ask Me Anythings before we go?
Yes. Let me pull them up quick.
I have no idea what they are, so I feel like I'm like
this will be
walking into the fire here.
Yes, this will be so good. Okay, first one. Best tips for DOMS recovery and when pushing through muscle pain / soreness is not a good idea. So maybe start with the DOMS. Best tips for DOMS recovery. And also, what does that stand for?
DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness.
That's what it is.
So it's when you get sore the next day or even so a lot of people are like, we were just talking about this at the gym the other day. A lot of people are 48 hours later. They don't get sore the next day. You get sore 2 days later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or more sore. Yeah.
So for me, I think I have two different kind of tree branches here. First is before you have the DOMS, before you get the soreness, make sure that you're eating your protein, make sure you're eating your carbs, make sure that you're hydrating. If you're doing those 3 things, you're going to help mitigate a lot of that to begin with. And then when you do get sore, because we all are going to get sore at some point, it doesn't always necessarily mean your nutrition's bad or something. Anytime you change a workout or you just change the stimulus, whether maybe you add weight, maybe you just change like a different like if you're entering a different cycle of your training, and so the exercises change, whatever, that will cause some soreness. I personally like to, I guess if it's lower body, take a walk. Walking helps my soreness so much.
Not moving is the worst thing you can do.
Yes. That's true. Yeah. Just don't stay still. Yoga, walking, anything like that, just moving your body, even if it's just some simple stretching, that can sometimes, I personally find that stretching it helps in the moment, like it feels good in the moment when I'm doing it, but I don't really feel like it it really helps. After I'm done, I'm still
No,
sore.
neither. Yeah.
But yeah, walking is a really big one. And just basic movement. Yoga in general, because yoga is really good for upper body, lower body, all the things. Again, just hydrating even after the fact. Make sure you're eating your carbs and protein after your workouts. Make sure you're hydrated. If you really, really, really have to, then, some ibuprofen or some Aleve or something, the anti-inflammatory stuff, you can. I don't personally
I'm against
prefer that. I don't recommend that much. But I mean, if you're real bad, if you're to the point where you can't even sit on your toilet, then you got to do what you got to do. I don't know, like Epsom salt baths. That's another one.
I have two that you didn't mention.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
So I agree with all that you said for sure. Protein especially, but sleep is going to be.
Oh yeah.
If you can control that, if possible, like try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, improve the quality of your sleep. Like that's going to be huge for your recovery, and then also creatine for recovery. Yeah, and there's more and more research coming out. I don't have the specific studies, but I listened to someone who does refer studies, so maybe I can try and find those. But he was talking about how there's now research coming out that creatine, so they recommend like 5 to 10 grams per day, but this research has said that anywhere from 20 to 25 grams actually alleviates or cancels out any negative side effects that you would get from chronic sleep deprivation or like lack of sleep.
Wow.
So yeah. And I know there's research out for like specifically recovery too when it comes to like soreness and things like that. But yes. So we're not doctors. We're not prescribing creatine by any means, but
I do take it.
I do too.
I do take it. I saw one. I thought what you were going to say, because I think it was also around 20 grams, but there was a study that about it was around, I believe, like I said, 20 grams. I don't know for what length of time, but there were improvements, like cognitive improvements, even in Alzheimer's patients.
Yes.
It was crazy to read that. So a lot of really cool stuff coming out about creatine. Creatine is by far the most studied supplement out there, aside from just like basic protein powders.
And proven.
And it's proven safe for pretty much everybody. Some people might notice like some bloating and things in the beginning. And in that case, you can just lower your dose at first, like build up rather than go straight for that, like 5 grams or whatever.
Yes. And I will say, I have one client who I cannot recall if it was because of endometriosis or there's other things going on, but they figured out that actually creatine was not good for her. She was getting like hair loss and there was a whole bunch of other things happening and going on. And the roots that they believe was creatine.
Interesting.
Because they did elimination, stuff like that. Yeah. So for her, this is where you always want to consult someone in person. Yes, exactly. So again, I don't know if it was endometriosis or if it was something else completely, but yeah, just for most people, like 99% of the population, I would say this is not the case, but just wanted to throw that out there.
Never know anything. Yeah, that's a good one.
And lastly, I'll say, because when pushing through muscle pain / soreness is not a good idea, I would kind of like how you said, like I would just say that this is where you can get to learn and know your body. I would say if it's been a week and you're still sore, rethinking the way that you go about your training as well, because you should not get to the point where it takes weeks, days in order to have to be able to work out again.
Absolutely.
So
take a look at what you're doing. You're either pushing too hard or you're doing too much or too much too fast. And I've seen questions when I go on to like Facebook groups and things. People say, I did, say legs on Monday. It's Wednesday or it's Thursday and I'm still really sore. Is it okay to work my legs again? And is it okay? Yeah, it is. I don't think that there's anything like detrimental necessarily that's going to happen as long as your form is good and you're staying safe. But for me, if you're super duper sore, number one, when I go to work out and I'm sore, a lot of times I'm not sore by the end of the workout just because you're moving
100%.
through,
Yes.
But also if it's real bad, you can do it. Just don't always, like you said, don't always think of it as, I have to go 100%.
Yeah, less
really
volume,
look
less
at what you're doing. Yeah, maybe you still do some squats, but maybe you're doing them with 50 or 70% of the weight you would do otherwise, just for the sake of the movement pattern. And maybe your focus for that workout isn't necessarily building muscle and getting strong, but maybe it's about really improving range of motion, really improving your form.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons that we could and should be kind of fluctuating the weight that we do on exercises throughout a block or throughout a cycle anyway. And just remembering that there's still a whole lot of benefits to even doing 50% weight.
Yeah. And over time, like that recovery and the soreness should decrease the more that you're doing this, most likely. So, yeah. So, all right. Second one, what historical figure would you want to work out with?
Ooh. I think I remember. Was this a Kiana question? I think
it was. Yes.
I remember seeing it on on our Ask Me Anything on Instagram or Ask Us Anything. And I remember thinking about it at the time to be prepared. And I don't remember who I said. Okay, what historical figure would I like to work out with? Right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think that. Oh shit! I don't know. Do you have one?
Okay, one just came to mind. The only reason this came to mind is because I have two books right here. One is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. The other one is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. And I think the historical figure that I would want to work with is like, what's the name? It's like, let me pull it up quick. Someone who's very philosophical, so that way I could pick their brain and they could. Marcus or Aurelius. You don't know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. He's like a philosopher, and a lot of so the Daily Stoic is like little, like each day there's little words of wisdom basically, and there's quotes and things from when this Marcus guy would write like different quotes. I wonder if I can open up. Let me see if there's. No, not on. Okay, so like this one. I'm just gonna read this. Take a good hard look at people's ruling principle, especially of the wise, what they run away from and what they seek out. So very deep, like philosophical.
Okay.
So I just think it would be cool to like work out with someone like that, just to get the mindset thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when I first heard the question, my brain automatically went to like Arnold Schwarzenegger, think about like people that like work out, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh my God, I don't know.
Totally different.
But then, that like to think about someone you could talk to. So I thought of someone while you were talking. And it's maybe kind of covers sort of a little bit of both of those areas. Is I would love to work out with Molly Galbraith, who's the one of the co-founders of Girls Gone Strong.
Oh,
I think she would be so freaking cool because not only is she just a complete badass anyway, but she's so thoughtful, and she's so and thoughtful in terms of just how she approaches things and how she considers everybody's experiences with things. And I just think it'd be really cool to talk with her and to learn sort of just how she thinks about things and how she is such a badass that supports women 24/7. I think she's very cool person that I think I would like to just meet, but even better would be to work out with her.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, she's not an historical figure though.
I was just going to say, I was thinking that I'm like historical though. Is she historical?
I was just thinking like a famous
figure,
but no, she's not. She's still alive. So no, she's not historical at all. Shit, I don't know. I might have to come back in the next episode.
Okay,
with this
if you
one.
think of it, if you think of one, yeah,
sounds good.
Okay, we got two more. Should we go over them?
Do you think they'll be quick, or are they going to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather never have to commute to work again, or always have a 3-day weekend?
I will, considering my commute to work is about 20 feet from my bedroom to this chair that I'm sitting in right now, I will take a 3-day weekend all day long. When I was teaching, however, I don't know, man, because when COVID happened, so where I was teaching, Nashville's traffic is trash. And so when COVID happened and I was teaching from home virtually, I got back like an hour and a half to 2 hours every single day of the week because I wasn't having to commute. And so that really, quality of life wise, that was incredible. So I think if I was still teaching and doing that, I might take the no commute, because when you add up all the hours I got back not having a commute, it was like having a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
But with my now just being my, owning my own business here, sitting in my house all alone every day, I'll take the weekend.
Yeah, this definitely depends on where you live. Because for me, even in Sioux Falls, the commute isn't terrible unless it's rush hour, which kind of sucks. But I would say, for me personally, for sure, the 3-day weekend, that's what I would choose.
Yep.
But
I like
if I was like in your shoes in Nashville as a teacher, I would say I would not want that.
Because it's always in rush hour. Going and coming, always in rush hour. It sucks.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah.
Last one.
All right.
Having an injury. Having an injury and getting exercise in when you're in serious pain. How? I heard protein intake when one does it. Oh, okay. Okay. So this was, I know. Having an injury and getting exercise in when you're in serious pain, how can you go about that? And then protein intake when one doesn't eat meat is a separate question.
Those are two separate questions.
Yeah. Okay. First one.
So working out when you're in, say that again.
Having an injury and getting exercise in when you're in serious pain, which totally, we have no idea what the extent. So I know who this is. I know who this is. She's a previous client and a friend of mine. She lives in California now. Well, she always did, but she had issues like chronic pain with her knee, specifically knee. And so we did work on that and like working on building muscles around that. But she just is in chronic pain with her knee all the time. She's a postal worker, so like strives to give out the mail, so she's walking a lot. So just to give you some context, that's who asked that.
So more like chronic pain type stuff as opposed to I just had an injury.
And it was from a previous injury too, I believe. Like she did have injuries with that.
Okay. Yeah, because at first I was like, well, if you have an injury, you need to rest. Maybe we shouldn't be working out. But a chronic thing, that's different. Like that's like an ongoing kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, when I've had, I guess maybe, I don't know if it's quite the same thing, but I've had some clients like with things like fibromyalgia, things like that, where they do feel pain quite often. But if it's like a specific, like you said, knee, I mean, obviously upper body, there's still a lot of things we can do. It's just kind of the idea of just training around the injury and finding things that don't flare it up, like when I hurt my back years ago, I hurt my back squatting. It was such a weird injury, but I was not able to squat for several weeks per the doctor, not just because I couldn't. Like I felt after a while I healed enough or I felt like I could, but I wasn't allowed yet. But it was finding things that I could do. I couldn't put the bar on my back, but I could do the hack squat machine. And I could, so it's just like finding ways to still do that movement pattern in ways that don't irritate the injury and make it worse. Like, one of the worst things we can do is to just completely cut a movement pattern out of our routine or exercise routine. So finding ways to still be able to do it, other like modifications. If it's a deadlift that hurts off the floor, maybe you could put it up on blocks. Maybe you can do a trap bar deadlift instead of a barbell deadlift. Maybe, there's modifications and variations for things, and just trying to find what doesn't flare up the issue is, I think, the trick to that one.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the second thing that I would add to that is focusing on your mindset and your thoughts around. I saw another quote. I was listening to something, training on something, and it was words create your world. So the words that what you're thinking is going to create your actions and your world around you. So it's how can I now adopt this mindset that is going to accompany this? Because fucking sucks having an injury. Like I remember when I pulled my hamstring and I had knee pain. Oh my God, it just was so frustrating to not be able to do certain things or for it to hurt. And it's like, oh my God, like I seriously would start crying during mid-workout because I was so frustrated. But it's like this is where you have to take control of your mind and your words, because it is what it is. You're in the present, be in the present moment. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
How can I change my mindset around it and then move forward with the actions? Because if you stay in that slump of like, oh, I can't do anything, I have this injury, I have this pain, it sucks, you're not going to do anything. But there's always a solution or like a workaround, especially when it comes to exercise. There's always something that you can do. The upper body, everything that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So take control of your mind and your thoughts and put that to exercise just like you would your body.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, when I'd hurt my back, I was, like you said, I was so frustrated. Like being injured or being in pain. Like, it's just truly the most frustrating thing in the world. And I had a meet coming soon. It was actually my very first meet. Like, I'd never competed before, so I was already stressed out about it. But I was just really upset that I was missing out on training time because of this. And one of the other coaches at my gym, he's a friend now, he sent me a video on Instagram, and I have no idea what it was, or even to try to go back and find it so many years ago. But it was a video of a coach he was training. It was almost like a seminar or something. Like, it was a coach. He was like training other trainers type of a thing. And one of the things the thing he was talking about in this particular video, it was only a minute or two. And he was talking about training people who have injuries or people that are in pain. And he talked about how it's so important to understand that when we do those things like training around the injury, you are by default strengthening even more so whatever it was that caused that injury to begin with, potentially. Like, if it was an injury that happened in the gym. And so, or whatever weakness there was that had the injury happen. Of course, if an accident or something's different. But so when you're doing that, so taking that training just as seriously as you take any other training, because a lot of times people come back way stronger from an injury because they've taken the time to train all of that stuff around it and build it up. And then that it totally changed my perspective, because I was going into the gym and just going through the motions, pissed off. And then when I saw that, and it was a very like motivational kind of type of a video, and the way he was talking, and it completely changed my mindset and my perspective on how I was looking at those workouts, even though I had an injury. They now have purpose, it wasn't just. Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I have never thought of it in that way.
Yeah, changed everything.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Protein intake when one doesn't eat meat.
Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit in the episode, the budget-friendly, healthy eating one. We talked about things like beans. We talked about the soy-based stuff, the tofu and eggs. Yeah, if you do eggs. Shoot, I had one in my head, and it's not something that I eat. That's why I...
Tofu? Tempeh?
No, it was not. It was similar to that, though, but I don't think it's a soy. Hold on. Is it how do you say it? Let me look it up here real quick. Seitan. It's Seitan.
I've never heard of that.
Seen that? Yeah. So that's one that like a lot of vegan people will eat. And it's, let me see here.
What is it?
It is it's a food made from gluten, the main protein in wheat. It is known as, it's giving some Chinese, Japanese, and Korean words that I will not even offend anybody by attempting to say. Here's just a quick Google description here. I'm not reading, so it's cut off, but it just says, when simmered in a traditional broth of soy sauce or tamari, ginger, garlic, and kombu, it is called seitan. The pronunciation says SAY-TAN, so seitan. But that's one too that I don't know how much protein is in it, but I know I have had some of my vegan clients that would eat that as well.
And I was going to say the other thing too is it's possible to still get enough protein and to get the amount that you need, but it's going to be a lot harder. So, and even, fruit, vegetables, whole foods, things like that. But that's where also a protein supplement can come into play, and like plant-based protein supplements, I guess. But
I don't know if don't eat meat, do they eat dairy? Because we have our Greek yogurts, we have things like like Fairlife milks, we have,
True.
low-fat cheeses tend to...
Cottage cheese, yogurt,
cottage
like
cheese,
that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember who specifically. Maybe it was the same person that asked about the injury one, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's definitely trickier, like for sure, if you're not a meat eater. I don't prefer meat. I have, I'm not vegetarian or vegan or anything. It's just not my preference. I still eat it just because that's what makes it easy to hit my protein numbers. But I can make it happen with supplements and stuff.
But also fish, like if it's strictly just meat, like fish.
Right. Yeah, tuna, it was because, like pescatarian people eat eggs and they eat fish. They just don't eat like land animals.
Right.
Right? Am I saying that? Am I even correct on that? And I know like vegetarian is a little bit different than vegan, would be none of that. So yeah, I guess it just depends when we say don't eat meat, what level of don't eat meat are we at here? But it just varies for sure. But yeah, sometimes fish is still works. Everything that, all the ocean stuff, shrimp, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So.
But yeah, but I will say, it's definitely a lot trickier. It's very hard to get all that in, especially, and then you get people who I don't eat meat and I also don't want to supplement. And it's like, okay, now it's getting a little trickier now. And it's very hard to get it in without especially carbs going over, because things like beans and all that tend to be very carb heavy.
Yes.
But, it's, you just kind of make it work. And sometimes, like I remember a client I had way back when, she loved beans and she would use lots of beans, but we would use them right around her workouts. So we're like, okay, well, let's put those carbs to work then. Go ahead. And those are some of her carbs that she would use pre and post workout in different types of, like, whether it's a salad or like, a bean salad kind of thing, or mixing it in with other stuff. But I'm like, all right, well, if we're going to get them, let's use them. So we would, put it around the workout.
The other thing you can think about too is if you have access to like a food meal prep type company, a lot of times they have plant-based, high protein, like you can categorize different things. So that's something you can look at too.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. With that, is that all?
Awesome sauce. I think that's it. I think we covered it. We got all our Ask Me Anythings done. So y'all are going to have to ask us more anythings then on the Monday post on Instagram.
Do it. All right.
And speaking of Instagram, you can find us at YouBobPod, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Pod. I love the way you said that. It was like I announced like a sports announcer. YouBobPod.
Email is at YouBob. Just kidding. It's not at anything. It's YouBobPod@gmail.com. Don't forget that we have our merch store up and running. We would love for you to represent. We've got stickers, shirts, hats, all kinds of things. And if there's anything else you'd like, I can add it. I discovered the other day that they have dog clothes, and my dog is going to need something. So once I figure out, I was going to do it and I was messing with it, but I'm going to need to kind of change the design to make it work on the dog clothes, because the cut kind of funny. And because they had some bandanas, because I was like, she could just wear a bandana.
Cute.
But yeah, so once I figure out the design, we're going to have some dog stuff.
Hell yeah.
Too. They also have baby onesies. I'm like, can we please have someone's baby wear under the barbell over the bullshit?
Oh my God.
Onesie?
Yes, I could get my niece that. She's still a baby.
It's so funny.
What about cats?
I will look. I didn't look for cats, but I mean, I'd imagine what kind of clothing do cats wear? Do they wear like shirts and stuff like dogs do? Is that a thing?
They don't like it.
I was like, they're just pissed off.
They don't like it.
Maybe a bandana potentially.
Yeah.
And the bandana that I was looking at, they have just regular ones that just tie, but they have one that's like attached almost like to a collar that just clips, and then the bandana's off the back, and that's what I was going to look at because my little one here would do better with that. So I've just got to get the design correct. So. Anyway, you can find our merch store at our link tree on all of our socials.
Awesome.
Yay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, with that, we'll see you next time. Bye now. What?
Bye. We said that at the same time. I was like, that was weird.
I didn't even realize that. Oh my God. Okay.
All right. Bye.